Hi, so in this video we're going to figure out what the derivative is of hyperbolic tangent of x. We can rewrite this as the derivative with respect to x of hyperbolic sine of x over hyperbolic cosine of x. Now at this point we're going to go ahead and take this derivative using the quotient rule. So we're going to have hyperbolic cosine of x multiplied by the derivative of the numerator, and that's just the exact same thing, minus hyperbolic sine of x multiplied by the derivative of the denominator, which is just the exact same thing again. And we're going to be dividing by hyperbolic cosine of x all squared. Let's just go ahead and simplify the numerator. So we're going to have hyperbolic cosine of x multiplied by hyperbolic cosine of x. So that's just hyperbolic cosine of x all squared minus hyperbolic sine of x all squared divided by hyperbolic cosine of x all squared. We can't really simplify the denominator, so let's go ahead and rewrite the numerator in its exponential form down here, and we'll see if we can simplify the numerator. So we're going to have e raised to x plus e raised to minus x over 2, and this is squared, so we're just going to multiply it by itself. Minus e raised to x minus e raised to minus x, multiplied by itself again because the hyperbolic sine of x is squared. This here is just the exponential representation of hyperbolic sine of x, and this here is just the representation of hyperbolic cosine of x. So notice we have a 2 and a 2 here in the denominator, and a 2 here and a 2 here in the denominator here. That means we can factor out a 1 over 4. It just makes multiplying everything out a little bit cleaner. So let's go ahead and multiply out everything in the brackets here. So we're going to have e raised to x multiplied by e raised to x, that's just e raised to 2x. Now we have e raised to x multiplied by e raised to minus x, that's just e raised to 0, and e raised to 0 is just 1. And then we have the exact same thing here. And we have e raised to minus x multiplied by e raised to minus x, that's just e raised to minus 2x. Minus e raised to x multiplied by e raised to x, e raised to 2x, e raised to x multiplied by minus e raised to minus x, which is minus 1 again, and minus e raised to minus x multiplied by minus e raised to minus x is just positive e raised to minus 2x. At this point we want to go ahead and distribute this negative sign to everything inside these brackets here. So we're just going to have 1 over 4 multiplied by, everything here stays the same, Now we're just going to go ahead and simplify everything in the brackets. We have an e raised to 2x here and a minus e 2x here, so that's just 0. We have e raised to minus 2x here and a minus e raised to minus 2x here, that's just 0 again. We have 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is just 4. 1 over 4 multiplied by 4 is just 1. That means that we can go ahead and rewrite hyperbolic cosine squared of x minus hyperbolic sine squared of x as 1. And that's just over hyperbolic cosine squared of x, which is just equal to hyperbolic secant squared of x. And that's the answer to this problem.